Gangster movies have long captivated audiences with tales of power, loyalty, and betrayal. Before we delve into our top 10, let's acknowledge a film that nearly made the list. Martin Scorsese's The Departed is a masterclass in tension, deception, and double lives. With Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, and Jack Nicholson, it won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Scorsese's long-overdue Best Director Oscar. So why isn't it on the list? Because it's a remake of the Hong Kong thriller Infernal Affairs. Brilliant? Yes. Original? Not quite. Still a modern gangster essential. Now let's get to number 10. Forget suits and cigars. This is the mafia with the glam stripped away. Gomorrah shows the Camorra crime syndicate in Naples with brutal honesty. The film weaves together 5 interconnected stories. Don Ciro, a timid middleman distributing money to families of imprisoned clan members. Toto, a 13-year-old grocery delivery boy eager to join the mob. Pasquale, a tailor who secretly works for Chinese competitors. And Marco and Ciro, 2 reckless teenagers inspired by gangster films who aim to make a name for themselves. Their lives intertwine in a narrative that exposes the pervasive influence of organized crime in everyday life. Based on journalist Roberto Saviano's real-life exposé, the film's gritty, documentary-style realism made waves. It won the Grand Prix at Cannes and became a cultural touchstone in Italy. No romanticizing here, just raw, terrifying street power. Stylized and bold, The Untouchables is Brian De Palma's take on the Al Capone saga. Kevin Costner plays Elliot Ness, and Robert De Niro hams it up gloriously as Capone. Set in 1930s Chicago during Prohibition, federal agent Elliot Ness assembles a team to bring down notorious gangster Al Capone. With the help of veteran officer Jim Malone, Sean Connery, accountant Oscar Wallace, and rookie George Stone, Ness wages a relentless battle against corruption and violence. The team's integrity earns them the nickname The Untouchables. The film earned Sean Connery an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor and pulled in over $100 million at the box office. And yes, that train station shootout? A full-blown homage to Soviet cinema. This movie isn't subtle, but it is unforgettable. This French crime epic tells the story of Malik, a young inmate who climbs the criminal ladder inside a prison dominated by Corsican mafia bosses. Malik El Jebena, a 19-year-old of Algerian descent, enters prison with a 6-year sentence and no connections. He becomes entangled with Corsican mob boss Cesar Luciani, performing dangerous tasks to gain favor. As Malik learns the prison's power dynamics, he secretly builds his own network, navigating between the Corsican and Maghrebi factions, ultimately rising to a position of influence. Winner of 9 Caesar Awards and the Grand Prix at Cannes, a prophet as both a gangster origin story and a sharp social critique. Trivia: director Jacques Audiard cast newcomer Tahar Rahim after just 2 auditions, and he became a breakout star. Based on the real-life infiltration of the Bonanno crime family, Donnie Brasco is a masterclass in tension and identity. Johnny Depp plays undercover agent Joe Pistone, and Al Pacino delivers one of his most subtle and tragic performances. As Lefty Ruggiero, Joe Pistone, an FBI agent, assumes the alias in Donnie Brasco to infiltrate the mafia. He gains the trust of Lefty, a seasoned but low-ranking mobster who mentors him in the ways of the criminal underworld. As Pistone delves deeper, he struggles with the moral implications of his actions and the genuine bond he forms with Lefty, blurring the lines between duty and loyalty. Box office: $125 million worldwide. Fun fact: the real Joe Pistone consulted on set and says the movie's portrayal of mafia life is 90% accurate. That's more than most mob movies can claim. A mob movie about time and how it buries everyone. Scorsese reunited De Niro, Pesci, and Pacino for this 3.5-hour epic based on the life of Frank Sheeran, a hitman tied to the disappearance of union boss Jimmy Hoffa. 10 Oscar nominations, and while it didn't win, it was a Netflix juggernaut. Frank Sheeran, a World War II veteran, becomes a hitman for the Bufalino crime family, led by Russell Bufalino. He forms a close friendship with Teamsters president Jimmy Hoffa, acting as his bodyguard and confidant. As internal power struggles escalate, Frank faces the ultimate betrayal, leading to Hoffa's mysterious disappearance. The film reflects on themes of loyalty, regret, and the passage of time. Behind the scenes, the film used digital de-aging tech to let its cast play characters across 5 decades. It cost nearly $160 million, one of the most expensive gangster films ever made. Sergio Leone's gangster magnum opus spans 50 years in the lives of Jewish mobsters in New York. Robert De Niro leads the cast in this tragic, non-linear tale of friendship, betrayal, and memory. The story follows David Noodles and Aronson and his childhood friends as they rise from petty crime in the Jewish ghettos of New York to powerful figures in organized crime during Prohibition. Decades later, an aging Noodles returns to confront the ghosts of his past, unraveling secrets and betrayals that have haunted him. The film's non-linear narrative delves into themes of time, memory, and the cost of ambition. Al Pacino's Tony Montana wasn't just a gangster, he became an icon. Scarface redefined excess in 1980s cinema, with over-the-top violence, a wall of cocaine, and that line, "Puss, say hello to my little friend!" The film follows Tony, a Cuban immigrant who arrives in Miami during the Mariel boat lift and claws his way from washing dishes to running a massive drug empire. Fueled by ambition, paranoia, and a violent streak, Tony's rise is as meteoric as his downfall is brutal. His relationships with his best friend Manny and his sister Gina add emotional weight to a story soaked in blood, betrayal, and indulgence. Critics weren't kind at first, but it's since become a cultural juggernaut. The movie grossed $66 million on a $25 million budget, and its influence runs deep, from hip-hop lyrics to video games. Fun fact, Pacino actually burned his hand during filming and couldn't work for weeks. That machine gun scene? It hurt! Set in the favelas of Rio de Janeiro, City of God is a blistering coming-of-age tale framed by gang violence. It tells the story of Rocket, a young boy who wants to become a photographer, and Lil Zay, a ruthless drug lord who rises to power in the City of God slum. The film covers 2 decades of criminal evolution, from turf wars between gangs to the rise of child soldiers. It's visceral, visually stunning, and refuses to glorify the violence it portrays. What makes it even more powerful? Most of the actors were recruited from real favelas, giving the film an unfiltered authenticity. It earned 4 Oscar nominations, grossed over $30 million globally, and became one of the most critically acclaimed international films of all time. As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster. Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas is pure adrenaline, a stylish, chaotic plunge into the world of organized crime through the eyes of Henry Hill, played by Ray Liotta. From his teenage years running errands for mobsters, to becoming a made man, and eventually turning informant, Henry's story is a wild, coke-fueled ride. Joe Pesci's Oscar-winning performance as the dangerously unpredictable Tommy DeVito brings both comedy and terror, while De Niro's Jimmy Conway adds a layer of calculated menace. Scorsese's rapid-fire editing, rock soundtrack, and tracking shots, especially that legendary Copacabana entrance, redefined how gangster stories could be told. 6 Oscar nominations, 1 win, and a legacy that shaped the genre for decades. This is Scorsese in full command. This isn't just the best gangster movie, it's cinematic mythology. The Godfather tells the story of the Corleone family, an Italian-American mafia dynasty. The first film centers on Michael Corleone, played by Al Pacino, the reluctant son who becomes a cold, ruthless leader after the attempted assassination of his father, Don Vito Corleone Marlon Brando. Part 2 is both a sequel and a prequel, contrasting Michael's consolidation of power with the early life of young Vito, played by Robert De Niro. It explores legacy, betrayal, and the hollowing effect of absolute power. Part 2, though more divisive, ties up the saga as an aging Michael seeks redemption, only to face the consequences of a lifetime of sin. The recent re-edit, The Godfather Coda, helped restore some of its original vision. Fun fact, Brando used cue cards taped around the set and stuffed cotton in his cheeks during his audition to craft Vito's distinctive look and voice. And it worked. He won an Oscar and created one of cinema's most iconic characters. So which is your favorite gangster flick? Let us know in the comments, and if you love well-crafted lists, sharp insights, and movie obsession turned into content, subscribe to Popcorn Primetime, drop a like, and hit that bell for weekly uploads that don't miss. Thanks for watching, and remember, never take sides against the family.